So welcome. So in this video, we are going to learn a new method to solve problems that look like this. So what does that mean? You have fixed pulleys, all these pulleys are fixed. You have seen questions like this, I'm assuming, right? Where you have lots of blocks that are connected. But the interesting part is that they move in one single overall direction. Well, obviously not quite, because this is moving like this, that is moving like that. But broadly, you kind of can see that they will move like this. They all have similar or same acceleration magnitude. The direction of acceleration, of course, is different. We will see how you can solve all this in one step. Okay, so this method is called the AHA bendy axis method. So this is something that I had come up a few years ago while I was teaching my students. You can obviously solve problems like this. So what is the standard way to solve this problem? You have this force, right, gravitational force. You will resolve it. So you have 5 mg sine theta, and you will have this and so on, right? And then you will put in this tension here, you will put the tension there, you will put the normal force, you will draw the free body diagram. It's a lot of work. So the idea is, do we have a shortcut which can allow us to solve this kind of a problem, that kind of a problem, and so on? And that's basically what we are going to learn. To start or to understand this approach, let us start with a very simple idea. Okay, so first question is, how do you solve a problem where I have one block with two forces acting on it, like this and like that, let's say. For now, we will treat this, all of this without friction. We will later come back and look at how to use the same thing, same approach when you have friction. It's the same idea. Later on, we will try to extend it in another video. We will try to extend this to questions which involve multiple moving pulleys. These are all fixed pulleys, but we will develop the same idea for moving pulleys. But anyway, right now let's focus on this. Suppose I had a block, let us say it was a 10 kg block, and I had a force of 15 newtons pulling it from this direction, and let us say I had a force of 3 newtons pulling it from that direction. It's a frictionless surface. How will you solve this problem? It's a very straightforward one. What will you do for its acceleration? You will say the net force on this block is 15 minus 3 in that direction. Net force by mass. So this is F net by mass. So it is 15 minus 3. Why minus 3? Because that is the positive direction. Okay, so the acceleration direction, we take it as positive, and this is the opposite direction. So 15 in the plus direction, 3 in the minus direction. So 15 minus 3 divided by the mass, which is 10. And so basically this is 12 by 10, 1.2 meters per second square. So this is the acceleration. So this is a very straightforward idea. How will you solve if you had, instead of one block, suppose I had 3 blocks that were connected. Okay, so now the question becomes a little bit more tricky, because what do you do? So let's say that this was 2 kg block, and let's say this was a 3 kg block, and this was a 5 kg block. Now I'm exerting a force of, let us say, 20 newtons in this direction, and I'm going to exert a force, let us say, of 5 newtons in this direction. Now the point is, if I try to do free body diagram, this has a tension, its tension is T1, this has a tension, its tension is T2. Okay, so if I try to do the free body for this, it's going to turn out like this. It's going to say there's a force of 5 newtons and a force of T1 acting on the 2 kg block. And similarly, if I try the same thing for the 3 kg block, it is going to basically be T1 in this direction, because this rope pulls the 2 kg this way and it pulls the 3 kg that way. And on this side, you're going to end up with T2. And for the 5 kg block, you're going to say this is T2, 5 kg, and you're going to write 20 newtons, right? But the basic point is all of them move together. They all have the same acceleration. How do you know this? Well, that of course requires a little bit of intuition, but you can see that you're pulling in this direction, you're pulling in that direction. The ropes are already taut. The ropes hopefully don't break. So when you pull it like this, actually it's all going to move like that together. So if I did this directly, what is going to happen? I'm going to write, this has an acceleration A, right? So all of them have acceleration A. So if I write 2 times A in that direction, I'm going to write T1 minus 5, and then 3 times A, 3 times this has an acceleration A, T2 minus T1, and then if I do this, I'm going to write 20 minus T2, and that is equal to 5A. And if I add these up, you will see that this will cancel out. Right? These are all Newton's second law for each block. Then when I add it, this will cancel, I'll get 15 Newtons net force is equal to 2A, 3A, 5A. Remember, they are all the same A. That's important. Okay, so this is how much? 10A. And so what does A turn out to be? 1.5. So from this you can conclude A is 1.5 meters per second square. This is the long way to do the problem, the correct way, but long way. Okay, so is there a shorter way to do this problem? Yes, why don't we just treat this whole thing as one big block? Now when you do that, this T1 and T2 information is lost. Okay, later we will see how you can actually find T1 and T2 also using the same method. But the main point is right now, you can find T1 and T2 because they are all sitting in this equation. But I don't want to do all this. Suppose I don't want to do any of this. Is there a shorter way? It works if you have all the blocks moving together. And so let me say I combine the blocks together. How much would be the mass of the block? 2 kg, 3 kg, 5 kg. So how much? 10 kg. So it's a 10 kg block. I'm going to treat it like a 10 kg block, pulled in both sides. On this side 20 newtons and on that side 5 newtons. Hey, what happened to T1? Isn't there a force T1? Yes, there is, but they are internal forces. This T1, that T1 basically cancel out. So if I treat this as one big block, the only external forces on the block are 20 and 5. Okay, of course I'm not counting the mg and all that because we are talking about horizontal motion. So the acceleration of this block would be 20 minus 5, 15 divided by the mass of the block, 10, and so 1.5 meters per second square. Do you follow? Right? So what did we do here? We basically said, okay, they are all moving together, so you can just treat this as one single block. Okay, but remember, this guy's acceleration, that guy's acceleration, and that guy's acceleration are all equal and in the same direction. It has to be equal and in the same direction. Now comes the problem. So you know this already. I mean, this is something that you can do as a shortcut. But the key point is, can I use this idea for that problem? Because this obviously makes it much simpler, right? You don't want to do all this. So suppose let us take a question like this. I have a pulley and let me say that I have two blocks. Okay, and let us say that this pulley is stuck there. You already probably know the formula for this, but let us think about mass of 2m and mass of m. Right? How will we solve this problem? 2mg t, and then you will say mg t, and you will say this has an acceleration down and that has an acceleration up. So are these accelerations equal? No, because if this fellow's acceleration is down and that fellow's acceleration is up, clearly they are not equal. Unlike in this problem where this guy's acceleration and that guy's acceleration were in the same direction, here the accelerations are in opposite directions. But are they the same magnitude? Yes. Okay, you know that this is moving with A and that is moving with A. So here comes the basic idea. Why did this work? They were moving in the same direction. That's why it worked. Okay. Now, the axis that we used, think of a number line. So if I thought of a number line, and let us say this was the axis that I am using, this is the positive direction and that is the negative direction. This is the perpendicular direction. You know that the perpendicular directions do not affect this direction. Right? Any force in this direction, like that's why I ignored mg and n. Because mg and n is not going to make any difference to this. Okay, what is the plus? That. What is the minus? This. Now, who says that we must have axes that must be straight lines? So here is the basic idea. Just reimagine your axis. Suppose I took my axis and I bent it. So imagine, suppose this was my axis. Right? What will be my plus direction? This direction. What will be my minus direction? This direction. Right? So here is my axis. So my plus direction is going that way and my minus direction is this way. Now suppose I imagine that the axis got bent. Plus and minus are in opposite directions. Now what about plus and minus? They are still in opposite direction, except opposite on this side is this way and opposite on that side is that way. They are opposites, but they look like they are both pointing downwards. But they are pointing downwards on two sides of the pulley. And you can bend this axis however you feel like. You see that the minus direction will still go like that and plus direction will still go like this. Okay, so let us try to use this idea. Let's see how that works here. So if I look at the force on this fellow, it is 2 mg. the force on this fellow, mg. You can go ahead and draw two blocks separately and separate it out, but I don't want to do that. I want you to think about the fact that if I straightened out this bendy axis, this axis has been bent. So what if I straighten this out? How will it look? It look like the straight lines. Now this axis, if I had bent, how will it look? It will look like this. Let's say I bent it like that. Not necessarily vertical, some direction like this. Now this is the minus direction, that is the plus direction. So in this axis, the bent axis, that is the plus direction, this. Where is the minus direction? This. What happened to this fellow? It has become this. What happened to this fellow? Because I bent it, this will go that way, this has become this. What happened to this one? As you bend, it's probably going to be here. You see this force, these forces, the forces that are perpendicular to my axis is now bent. But the forces perpendicular to my axis do not play a role. Because you already know perpendicular forces don't affect each other. So this one will not affect this one. Except now these are all perpendicular to this axis. I've just got a very weird axis, that's all. Just get comfortable, you'll see it becomes simple. Now this pulley exerts forces like this on the rope. But it's all perpendicular. It doesn't matter. When you straighten it out, none of that matters. Okay, but what is going to happen is this is the positive direction, this is the negative direction, right? So what is the net force? 2mg minus mg. Though they look like they are the same, but they are on opposite sides. So actually the net force is how much? mg. So I am going to write net force is 2mg minus mg in this direction, in the positive direction, which means I must have one positive direction. This basically becomes the negative direction. Okay, so this divided by the, now remember the total mass, once I straighten it out, this force and that force, it is not like 2mg minus mg is pulling 2m. 2mg minus mg is pulling what? 3m, because it's pulling everybody together. It has to grab this guy and that guy. So this whole thing is moving like this. Can you see that this and this are moving in the same direction? It looks like they are opposite direction. That is from the ground usual xy plane. But if you look at it from the bendy axis, this direction and that direction are the same direction. Okay, so that means net force by the total mass, which is 3m, must be my acceleration. And that is my acceleration. So how much is my acceleration? Let us calculate. 2mg by 3m is going to give me, mm cancels out. So this is going to give me g by 3. If I sat and solve this problem step by step, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to write 2mg minus t equals 2ma. And when I write the second equation, remember, it is going upwards. So I'm going to write t minus mg. I won't write mg minus t. Start with the direction of acceleration, okay? So this is ma, and I'm going to write t minus mg is ma. So if I add these two, you can see that the t cancels out. So you will get 2mg minus mg, which is what we got there, 3ma, which is what we got here. So you will get g by 3. Now you may say, wait, why don't I just learn and do this? The problem is, what about in this problem? What about in that problem? And what if I have 10 blocks that are moving? Obviously this is going to take you, writing 10 equations is going to be a lot of mess. Okay, whereas if you can do it in one shot, you will find that it is a lot simpler. Okay, so I hope you understood the basic idea. Okay, so the key point is that these forces are all perpendicular, do not affect. All I am doing is to bend my axis. So now my direction, the way you should think about your axis is no longer like this or like this. You think about your axis like this. So this is my plus direction and this is my minus direction. So the net force in this direction is 2mg minus mg, because this was opposite direction, and all the blocks must move in the same direction. So now will this work for other cases? Well, actually it will. Suppose my axis was bent like that. You can bend it however you want, no? If I can take an axis and I bend it like this, why can't I bend it like that? Okay, if I did, this will be my positive direction. What about the direction here? What is positive there? This, positive. At this point, what is the positive direction? Like this. At this point, like this. Here, this. Can you see that here the positive is this way and there the positive is that way? They are both positive. In the regular axis system, this and this will be opposites. But because you are going along the axis, you look at whether you are moving along the axis. So this is also positive, this is positive. And here when you come, this is the positive direction. So you see this is the positive direction, there that is the positive direction along the rope. If I had taken this a little further like that, here the positive direction will be like this. So where you are will decide your positive direction. Perpendicular here looks like this. Perpendicular here will look like that. This force will not play a role in this direction because it's perpendicular to the bendy axis. I hope this idea is clear. The best way to understand this is to apply it to a lot of different types of examples. Okay, so you should basically try that out now.